They didn't come in peace. They came with warships the size of cities, blotting out the sun as they descended from orbit. Their message was cold and absolute. Earth was ours before. Now we're taking it back. To them, we were just squatters primitive. Creatures playing civilization on a planet they abandoned eons ago. They expected fear, surrender, obedience. What they got was humanity, because they forgot one thing. Humans don't give up anything without a fight. Not our land. Not our people. Not our home. And when the first alien dropship touched down in Nevada, they learned the hard way why Earth is not just a planet. It's a species. One forged in conflict, hardened by survival, and utterly unwilling to bow. What followed would become legend. Across the stars, the day the galaxy realized, you don't mess with humans. Forgotten origins, the Eliari were an ancient race, born millions of years before humanity sparked its first fire. Their empire once spanned systems in the Orion Arm, and Earth, or Tal Shara, as they once called it, was just another lush colony. But something drove them away. Internal wars, cosmic disasters, or ancient enemies lost to time. No record. Survived. Earth was left to reset, life to restart. They never expected sentience to rise again. And certainly not from mammals. When the Eliari probes rediscovered Earth, they were stunned to find a booming civilization, over 8 billion humans, thousands of satellites, megacities visible from space, and signals flooding every band of the electromagnetic spectrum. Primitive? Perhaps, but undeniably intelligent, organized, and dangerous. Return of the first owners. The Eliari High Command saw Earth not as a threat, but as a mistake to correct. Reclamation Protocol 9 was activated, a peaceful broadcast demanding immediate evacuation of all human life, followed by military action if refused. But Earth didn't evacuate. The message reached Earth's orbit on a Tuesday. By Thursday, NASA, ESA, CNSA, and other space agencies confirmed the trajectory of alien craft entering the solar system. Military readiness levels rose globally, and the world, for the first time since the Cold War, paused to take a collective breath. News networks flashed with headlines, "We are not alone. They want Earth back. Global governments activate defense." Treaties. Still, many didn't believe it. UFO conspiracy theories had diluted the public's trust. But when the Eliari fleet crossed Mars' orbit and disabled every rover on the Red Planet, the reality could no longer be ignored. Humanity unites surprisingly. The first reaction wasn't panic. It was resolve. World leaders from democracies and dictatorships alike agreed on one thing. Earth belonged to humanity. Political differences were shelved. Resources pooled. Even rival nations like the US and China collaborated. A new coalition formed, Earth Defense Command, EDC. Not a military superstructure, but a coordination of every defense, science, and logistics asset Earth had to offer. Satellites were retasked. SpaceX, Blue Origin, and other private firms converted orbital platforms for defense and observation. Hidden weapons projects were brought into the open. Thousands volunteered, not just soldiers, but scientists, doctors, and programmers. Humanity wasn't preparing for extinction. It was preparing for a stand. First contact, first strike. The Eliari sent emissaries first. Tall, golden-skinned beings with luminescent eyes. They floated in shimmering fields of anti-gravity. Their message, delivered in perfect English: this world is not yours. Depart or perish. The answer came from President Adebayo of Nigeria, speaking on behalf of Earth. This world was not given to us. We fought for it, we bled for it, we built it, and we are not leaving. The Eliari emissaries vanished. And then the bombardments began. They targeted non-lethal infrastructure, power grids, communication satellites, data centers. It was surgical. The goal was chaos, not genocide. But Earth adapted. Engineers routed power manually. Amateur radio operators rebuilt communication channels. Blockchain-backed peer networks distributed information despite satellite blackouts. Humans were resilient. And that was their first mistake. Urban Warfare 2.0, the Eliari began ground operations in Nevada, eastern Russia, and South Africa, testing deployments against varied terrain and cultures. Their soldiers were faster, stronger, and equipped with energy weapons that outclassed Earth's ballistics. But they didn't understand human tactics, guerrilla warfare, hit-and-run strikes, cyber warfare, misinformation. Human units used abandoned cities as traps, turning subway tunnels into death mazes. They hijacked alien drones and reverse-engineered tech in days, not decades. In Johannesburg, a teenager hacked a downed alien mech with a gaming laptop and used it to rescue his neighborhood. In Arizona, farmers turned irrigation drones into anti-air defenses. In Siberia, hunters taught soldiers how to move unseen in frozen woods. Every day, the Eliari lost ground. The psychological shift: the Eliari weren't just losing physically. They were losing mentally. Their species evolved in near-perfect order. Emotion was minimized. Individualism discouraged. They never expected humanity's chaos to be a strength. Humans made music in bunkers, painted murals on broken tanks. Comedians performed via radio while missiles rained overhead. Love letters were written in trenches. Children in shelters laughed while eating ration bars like they were chocolate cake. It confused the Eliari. Then it unnerved them. The turning point: Operation Ghost Sky. Operation Ghost Sky was Earth's masterstroke. Using alien tech reverse-engineered. From fallen ships, humans created cloaked drones capable of spaceflight. Hundreds were launched undetected, faking a retreat from orbital zones. Then, simultaneously, they struck. The drones unleashed EMP pulses and nanohacks into the Eliari fleet's command vessels. Dozens of ships went dark. Panic spread. For the first time in 100,000 years, the Eliari retreated in battle. The message heard around the galaxy: the defeat wasn't just strategic, it was symbolic. A species they considered beneath them had not only survived, but pushed them back. Other alien civilizations watched. The Eliari's image as a dominant force was shattered. Civilizations under their influence began whispering rebellion. Merchants refused trade. Rivals prepared counterstrikes. Earth transmitted a single message to the galaxy: we are still here, and we are not afraid. Aftermath and alliance: the Eliari eventually offered peace. Not out of compassion, but respect. Humanity had earned its place in the galactic order, not through submission, but sheer defiance. The peace accord was signed aboard the ISS, rebuilt as a neutral diplomatic platform. Eliari engineers shared technology. Humans offered cultural insights. Former enemies became curious partners. Earth entered the Galactic Council not as a client world, but as a sovereign equal. Why you don't mess with humans? It wasn't Earth's weapons that turned the tide. It wasn't just our numbers or our stubbornness. It was our ability to laugh in darkness, to adapt under pressure, to turn broken tech into weapons and grief into unity. It was the firefighter who ran into a collapsing building, the child who offered their only toy to a refugee, the programmer who stayed awake for 3 days to decode an alien language. The Eliari came to reclaim Earth, but Earth wasn't just soil and water, it was spirit. And that spirit sent a clear message to the stars: we may fall, but we will always rise, together. And that's why you don't mess with humans. A galactic cultural renaissance following the Snack Accord. Earth became the cultural capital of the galaxy. Alien diplomats, traders, and tourists flooded the planet to experience firsthand the chaotic charm of human civilization. Entire districts in major cities were rebuilt to accommodate visitors from different atmospheric and gravitational needs. Cultural fusion erupted. Martian Street Tacos with Zarnathi Spice Rub. A sitcom co-written by a Zarnathi comedian and a human screenwriter topped ratings across 9-star systems. A human jellyfish hybrid jazz band performed for the United Galactic Assembly. Humanity had gone from the brink of extinction to cultural ambassadors of a new interstellar era. Resistance becomes respect. Some Zarnathi traditionalists were furious at first. They accused Earth of corrupting their military traditions. But younger generations, now raised on Earth-inspired openness, saw things differently. A new branch of the Zarnathi military was created not for conquest, but for peacekeeping and aid. Their motto? Strength and compassion. Veteran warriors trained in battle now led missions to distribute resources, defend colonies from pirates, and help rebuild war-torn zones. All of it inspired by how one planet chose tacos over torpedoes.